I'm going to get straight to the point with this one. And basically, with the title of the video, you understand that what I'm going to be talking about is the power of your own words and how they can really impact your life. So, making sure that you speak the right things into mind as a biker next to me. Okay, just making sure that you speak the right things in your day to day, like life, making sure that you're talking to people where it's very positive and positively inducing rather than, being in like a negative state is actually so crucial. And I say this because, I've been in this situation. I'm sure you've been in a situation where sometimes you're thinking about things or you're even speaking things where it's not positive and you're like, for example, let's say you're working on something and it's not going your way and it's not going the way you'd like. And you're having these thoughts where, oh man, like, first of all, it's doubt. Is this even going to happen? Am I going to make it? Am I going to be able to do this? Will I succeed? Like, all these things, you have to understand that, like, when you say something or when you think something, and the more time you spend in that specific emotion, in that specific vibration or vibe, whatever, the more that's going to actually manifest into your life in the sense, like, let's say, I've started something brand new. And before I even really start it properly, maybe I've just, done some research here and there. I'm having thoughts where, do you know what? Is this really for me? Like, will I succeed? But I don't think I can do this X, Y, Z. I don't think I'm capable enough for me to, put my effort into this. All of these things, it's just really bringing you down and it's only going to happen. Think about it. The more time you put in or you're in a zone where it's negative, the higher chance that it will happen. It's just probability. So, flip the script here. Now, the more times you convince yourself that it will happen, that you will make it, that you are succeeding, and being positive in that frame of mind, again, the higher probability that you will manifest that, or you will achieve that. Because you're just simply putting your energy, your mindfulness and your kind of efforts in a positive state. So, and I'm only saying this because I've been on both sides and I'm trying myself, to shift always into the kind of positive mindset. And I get it, it's not easy because, every day is different sometimes. You encounter different things. Even if have the kind of same routine, you're not always in the same mood, you're not always in the same mindset. There are different external experiences that come your way and that can affect it. But it's important to identify what's affecting you internally and try and navigate that into a positive state. So I just want to make this video specifically, and the way I want something that you want to take away from this video is that try be mindful, try be aware of the way you're thinking, and just ask yourself, even right now, right? This day that you're watching this video, throughout this day, how has your mood been? How has it been fluctuated? From the moment you woke up to the moment you're watching this video right now. What's your mood been like? Try and analyze yourself. Did I start off the day with such a, intense positive vibration? Am I happy to get out of bed? Am I doing this X, Y, Z? Or was I more like, you know what, it's another day, blah blah blah. It's not too great. This didn't go out for me, this didn't really work for me. Ask yourself this, like, how did my mood then switch 2 hours later? Was it the same? Was it completely a 180? Just try to be aware, all right? This is mindfulness. This is complete and utter self analysis and to really understand how you operate. Now, this is a skill, all right? the better you become at this, then the easier then it becomes to identify anything that affects you. And once you've identified anything that affects you, you can now switch it to your benefit. Let's say I woke up in a great mood. I'm ready to tackle the day. 2 hours into the day, something happens. Maybe I spilled coffee on myself, or maybe someone said something, or maybe I didn't like the way something, that didn't go to my plan. And all of a sudden, I don't feel good because that thing, whatever happened, an external influence. And I don't feel good, and then I start thinking too much about it, and then I start dwelling into it. Then it kind of has a domino effect where the next thing didn't really go to plan because my mind wasn't really in it. I was in a kind of a negative state. Then it accumulates throughout the day, and all of a sudden you've just got this massive ball of negativity in your day. Now you can do the same thing, but in a positive tone. You can start off the day. Yes, some external influences can come your way. They can, be very negative. But if you're mindful enough to be aware, like, you know what, this is affecting me like this, let's switch out. And all of a sudden, you can start shifting that into more of a positive vibration. And then from that, it compounds. Now you've got this massive sphere or aura of positivity in your day. And honestly, once that compounds, you're unstoppable. Like, trust me. Have you ever had those days where like it's been pretty chill, and then all of a sudden you feel so good, and you feel like you're in the top of your game, and everything's just going so well? Obviously it doesn't happen all the time, but those days where just you feel like the kind of upper echelon of your experience, Now that every day is a dream, because then you're genuinely unstoppable if you have that experience every single day, and you can have that experience every single day if you focus on where your mind is shifting. It's really interesting. Like, I think, like, for me, like, I've really been paying attention to this for the last 2 months, 3 months, and I've tried myself to kind of manually shift myself into a positive state, because I'm not gonna lie, if you really think about it, everything kind of happens automatically and it's all autonomous. Because if you're in a routine, and a good routine, you wake up, you brush your teeth, you you shower, whatever, you get ready, you go to work, you go to school, whatever you do, it's kind of the same thing every day. But within that, everything, the different experiences can happen. But if you're in a routine, like, suddenly your brain just automatically knows what to do, and you're not necessarily completely mindful if you think about it. Like, sometimes when I'm walking home, or I'm walking to the train station or something, like, I'm not even thinking about me walking, I'm just doing it. Like, it's just completely automatic. I've got my music in, and all of a sudden the next thing I know, the train is in front of me and get on, whatever. But my point is, your brain in routine becomes very automatic. Therefore, any thoughts that you can happen that come into you, very automatic. You kind of react automatically. Now, if it's a negative thought or a negative experience, then all of a sudden you have an automatic response. Now, if that automatic response is negative, because you're kind of used to all this, and then you become in this sphere of negativity, and then that can really affect your day. The point here is to identify and to not be automatic when it comes to these experiences, and to completely shift yourself into a positive loop, into a positive state. And once you can do that over and over and again, suddenly you're on fire. Literally, like, you're firing away. You're doing all these things, and you've just got an abundance of energy. You've got an abundance of creativity and an abundance of kind of positivity, which really can impact your day-to-day life, and your month, your goals, whatever. So I think it's really important to have these kind of experiences, and to kind of be mindful of yourself, your state. But yeah, just like when you're alone, and like when you're chilling, there's nothing around you. Just try and like think about things like, you know what, this is how I feel at the moment. I feel good. I don't feel too good. Why am I not feeling too good? Is it because of this? Is it because of that? How can I change that? All of a sudden, like, you start getting to the root of these problems, and you can just kind of slowly but surely switch yourself into a nice positive state of mind. And looping this back into the first point where I was talking about words, it's so important to be able to speak the right words into your day-to-day life, because if you're not speaking to yourself, to people that you're around, or if you're around a kind of people where it's very negative and it's very, kind of pulling you down in a sense, or even if you're the person doing that, then you have to identify, like, oh God, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is just kind of adding into the pot, like, think of it as like a jar of an empty jar, and someone's slowly pouring negativity juice or whatever, and you don't want that to fill to the brim. And how it's filling to the brim is by you speaking negatively, by being around people who are speaking negatively, and all of a sudden you've got these negative thoughts that come in your mind, and you kind of have these limiting thoughts which come in your mind, and once the jar of negativity slowly starts to build up, you're really limiting your potential. And you don't want that, because if you limit your potential, you don't achieve what you set out to achieve. So really, like, it's just about being aware, I think, and I'm still doing it myself, and I found it to be very helpful. I found it to be really, really good. Trying to manually shift into a nice positive state.